Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to our Ultimate General Civil War campaign as the Union. And it's time for Mule Shoe. Mule Shoe? The Mule Shoe. Lead our next attack on salient of the rebel line known as Mule Shoe. Okay. So we're attacking into a defensive position. What day is this? The 12th. Now, a few days earlier, a dude called Upton, apparently, had already semi-breached the Confederate lines here. The Confederates were dug in. This wasn't just they got to this point and decided to turn around and fight these off. No, there were epic earthwork constructions going on here. It was a little bit silly of them to fight here. They should have repositioned themselves. I think they did end up repositioning the whole line a little bit further around this direction in the end, I believe. But it was a bit horrific, and it was muddy, and it was raining, and there was people being trampled into the mud and all. It was horrific. Anyway, this Upton guy, a couple of days earlier on, he'd done a similar tactic earlier on in the war. I forget which specific battle it was, but it reminded me of what the French used to do against the British in the Napoleonic Wars, which was the lines would be separated by about 600 meters worth. Now, the French would form up into columns and march towards the British line. The spread out 2 ranks, maybe 3 ranks. And so it was a little bit like a sledgehammer. Because if you got a column marching at you, one, you've got the morale effect of we're firing into this column and it's not slowing down. It's continuing to bear down on us. But from the French perspective, yes, the front 4 or 5 men in the very front of the column, they take the brunt of the hits. But 1, it protects everybody else, and 2, it keeps the momentum going, because you've got such a massive body of men that aren't being affected by that fire, that there's still movement there. You've still got that onward rush, and it wasn't really a rush. It was more of a fast-paced march, and there'd be 2 or 3 of these columns heading towards the British lines, and it'd only take 3 minutes or so to breach that gap, maybe less. And because rifle technology back then was, I wouldn't say basic, but it was muzzle loading. So if you're lucky, it'd be 3 rounds off per minute. Usually, if they were troops that were pressed into service, if they were green, if they weren't quite trained up properly, you might get 2. You might be lucky to get 2 rounds off. Whereas this French column would continue and continue and continue, and then it'd smash into the British lines. It'd all turn into madness, and suddenly you're in a melee fight with more French people than there was British. It just, yeah. And this Upton guy, he did kind of the same thing, to the point where I think the front rows of what was his sledgehammer had rounds loaded, but everybody else didn't. They had muskets with nothing loaded in them, just so that they weren't tempted to stop and fire off that round. They kept going. I think they hit a couple of days previously. I think they hit around here, And it worked. They got in here, but once they got in here, there was nothing. There was no support to back them up, and they got turned around pretty quickly. They couldn't hold what they'd taken, and they ended up having to move off. But yeah, it was an interesting read, that was. But we'll see how the battlefield is for us. Give it a go. Rebel position be weakest. General, this rebel position. Really? Doesn't look weak. So salient in their formation. Yep. Jutting out in a horseshoe shape. Or mule shoe. Have to solve this exposed position and seize the area. If we succeed, we could split the Confederate front in two and cripple their defences. I'd like to see weather effects. Because apparently the downpour in this particular battle had a big effect. Not only for the attacking, but for the defending. A lot of the prepared rifles, because you might load 2 or 3 rifles up and put them behind the defences, and a lot of those rifles got damp. The powder got damp, and they just didn't fire off. So, what are we looking at? Oh, no. What are we looking at? Well, it's not going to be a head-on attack. It's probably going to be up there. This way, there's too much distance here. Plus, you've got this. Yeah, this looks better. There's a, I don't know. And we'll try Upton's tactic, I think. It's going to be, we'll rush one person forward, probably somebody who is maybe 1 star, maybe Bartlett. Actually, what rifles do you have? Harper's Ferry. Melee of 60. Bartlett, what's the Harper's Ferry? Melee of 58. Okay. Straight. We're going to use you for breaching the defense. And we'll run across this field. We'll have people in behind. Smash him into these defences. Have people firing into this, and probably into here a little bit, just to draw fire a little bit, and get through. I'm assuming that all of these are manned. They probably will be. Anyway. Let's get all of you down here as well. Maybe not. No, let's just do it a few at a time. Yeah, so we're not too close to that edge. Franklin, you as well. And we'll push these cannons. I think you can control and click as well. Alright, okay. Yeah, you can control and click as well. Or hold control and click. And it'll select. Learned that about 5 minutes ago. Maybe you three. You're going to cut that corner a little fine. Let's get you. Yeah, that's better. And where are we? Just saying. Speed that up. We'll also move over here. Anybody and everybody that's inside our little circle gets a movement bonus. So we'll go to the very edges. The ones that are going to take the longest time to sort the lives out. That'll probably be the cannons actually, but yeah, we'll try to get that moving a little bit quicker. We're probably going to come across some skirmishers. I wouldn't be surprised if they push skirmishers out into various positions, but we'll deal with them. Yeah, you can see that we've been spotted here, but we'll deal with them as and when we get to them. Oh, here we go. So have you run in and you run in as well. Let's see if we can catch these guys out in the open. I'm doing alright there. Yeah, that's not going to work for me, Franklin. Sorry. Alright, so we forced them out of the position that they were in. Nope, let's just continue. Force them out of the position that they were in, out into the open. Let's get you watching this way as well. And Kelly, turn the running off. March that way as well. We don't need to get hung up on skirmishes. We just need to concentrate on getting into position. And then forcing the hammer home. Oh, here we go. You turn around. Actually, no, Franklin, you turn around. Bartlett, we're going to need you. Let's get you out of there. We'll use Franklin as a screen to push the skirmishers back to give us cover. Loomis, what are you doing? Let's get yourself out of there. So skirmishers are uncovering Franklin, but nobody else. Let's pull you lot down. Yep, no one else has been spotted. Oh, you have. We press forward just a little bit. How can you see these but I can't see these? I don't know. But let's just occupy this area here. You lot. All of you lot. Down here. Actually no, let's not get too close to the edge. We've fallen foul of that before. Spears. I will keep pace with these cannons. Oh, reinforcements. I think we need these. Not even as a diversion, not even as a distraction. I don't think we need these. What's that? You lot down here. We'll detach skirmishers from these lot. You lot to here. Again, we'll detach skirmishers. Probably press them forward a little bit, just so we can get eyes on the emplacements here and pepper them with. Alright, fine. With a bit of artillery barrage. I think this will just stop them from pulling people from this area to reinforce this. It's just to keep them engaged. Franklin's still seen. Do we not have a core commander? Maybe we do, McLean. Oh, Franklin's doing a good job. Franklin's here so that the skirmishers can't push out too far and reveal all of this. Straight, I think we're using you, aren't we? So let's bring you down into this location. And you three aren't being used. They'll just be there. Oh, Greg, let's get you into that. Continue to move forward. We'll probably set our cannons up here. Maybe even here. Atkinson, you need to move as well. We'll just speed up time. Alright, let's pull you back. And let's position you down here. And you. You can't do much up there. Who's been spotted? Right. You push back a little bit. Split skirmishers off from you, press them forward. There's somebody in these woods. Oh, hello. There we go. Yeah, we're far enough away here. We're only going to get cannon fire. Go on, route all the way off. All the way off the field. Maybe not. Alright. Back to the original plan. Also, where did these go? And these guys need sorting out. Let's do these cannons. There they are. I knew I wasn't going mad. They were here somewhere. Ashmore, let's split you out. Give in that cornfield. I should open up. Actually, I'll just put you in these woods. Wood. Let's push you into here. Come on, should be in range by now. Why are you not in range? What do you have? Harper's Ferry, okay. Rebel cav spotted somewhere. Ah. I don't want you firing. Don't want you firing either just yet. Just keep an eye out. Right. You two form up there. I don't know why these are liking being so far behind. But I suppose because these just came down the road, these are having to negotiate their way through forests and stuff. I just want to poke their eyes out here. If we can get rid of skirmishers, Get rid of cavalry. Stop them from seeing where we're going to hit them. I think the battle's going to be long enough to bother about if they've got supplies or not. Alright, straight, you're here. Let's push you forwards. Rebels have sent reinforcements. Who is this? Should have probably kept them a little bit more contained than we were, but I didn't expect them to come out there. Mule. Can we get shots on Mule? That's an important target. Not that important though. Alright, so we're getting there eventually. Eventually we'll get there. Cannons, let's get you into a better place. And let's press this forward a little bit. I'll need you three in reserve. Once we get through this gap, we need to pour everybody in and set up our own little bubble of men. Alright. Why is your condition so crap? You haven't been running. I don't know. Let's get you into these woods. I think there's skirmishes over here somewhere. And let's move you forward just a little bit. And let's get you out of the way, all the cannons. Looks like we're going to be smashing our way into lane. Nope. Or by the time you get there, you'll be needed. Alright. Let's kick this off, shall we? You hold there. Hold there. You stop using your rifles. Run through that position. Bit of a weird tactic, but hopefully it'll work. Alright. Our brigade, you support straight, seeing so I don't know how to do this. We should now be able to get most people firing in on this. Actually, let's push you through that gap. And you. And let's continue through the position. Reserves. Let's get you in here as well. Running. And let's keep these routing. Yeah, you need to be running. I suppose straight took the brunt of that, so can't be too disheartened. He's only a noob. Garfield, let's try and get you around the flank here. Let's try and turn this defense. Try and take out Anderson. You turn around, take out Lane. And let's get a proper defensive line going on. Atkinson, you're going to be needed here. I need you two in behind that. And let's right, we've taken out whoever it was, Anderson, I think it was. Ted Bartlett is wounded. That's not good. You firing into them. Garfield, you come back whenever you've sorted your lives out. You firing into that, you firing into that, you firing into that as well. You firing into them. And let's push them a little bit further. How is this? And we're just gonna have to, this is terrible, but oh well. Oh, we need to keep them running though. You hold that position there. Switch both of your fire onto that. You can come all the way to the edge of this area. Loomis, you're going to have to take the brunt of that, I'm afraid. Well, we can take it for Stuart and Mule here, I think. Perhaps, maybe not. Okay, maybe not. Bartlett, let's bring you back. And let's consolidate this line a little bit. Need you back into the fray. Garfield and you back in there as well. Don't know if these have got the range for what we're doing right now, but they'll just fire at whatever they can, hopefully, one would assume. Alright, let's push up. Try round these cannons away. Come on. Our brigade are about to rout. Come on, let's get these cannons turned away. Brewster's still holding it though. You're out of range, let's push you up. Well, I want you in that gap. And Garfield, let's get you around this corner. Can't click on Brewster, but who needs to? You through that, you don't rout, please. Just need you to hold this flank. Who are you firing at? How about no? And let's continue this press. We don't have that long left. This is essentially what it boiled down to. It was lots of melee. It was poking sticks into each other. That's what that's about. That's about what happened. But I think by this time in the war, the Confederates have been turned around, and it was a controlled retreat. Reminds me a little bit of, yeah, the German Eastern Front dude. Manstein, I think it was, where he retreated away from the Russians, but he made it costly. It wasn't just a turn around and head back for Germany. It was, yeah. Alright, so we're starting to route the... Kelly, let's get you in there. The cannon, which is good. We need to press you up. We need to press through this point. You'll take losses, but I want you behind. Just in case Atkinson routes. Bartlett. I keep thinking of potatoes when I see Bartlett. I'm sure there's a potato called Bartlett or something. I don't know, the weird things that go through my mind. Oh no, Atkinson's dead. Well, there were plenty of people that died here. Let's turn you around so you don't get flanked too much. You in behind, I want you in that gap there, I want you into there. Now. We control the ground. We just now have to hold it. Which shouldn't be too bad. Bring you into this gap here. It's like Loomis is on the verge of having a bit of a panic. I don't need to press any further. I'm fine if it just been a standoff like this. Oh, nope. Let's have you right behind Nagel. So you firing into Humphreys. And as soon as this descends into melee, I want you firing into them as well. Press forward, just a little bit. It's not what I like to do, but if we encourage them any further forward, they might take the point, and we don't have long left. Right, you press into that position there. You spin yourself around. First, I want you in behind here just as support in case Mr. Potato Man decides to run away. Atkinson, yeah, killed. Unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it was going to happen. Someone was going to die here. I'm surprised it's just one. I'll still be surprised if it's just one. Hey, game, please. You're not meant to recognize when I say these things. Yeah, finish. Wow. My giddy aunt. Whew. I'm surprised that we didn't have more casualties than this. I'm really surprised. I expected at least, not quite 2 to 1, but I expected more than that. There's only, what, 500, 600 in it? Yeah, Butler took some massive losses there. He did well though. He did well. Major General and a Brigadier General, both dead. I mean, you can pick up Brigadier Generals from the academy, from the shop, as it were. So not too concerned about them. Having a Major General out of action though, not just out of action, but just off the planet, is unfortunate. Okay. Oh, but it was a win. It was a win. We'll spend this career point in politics, I think. Although we are about to. With this message, I would like to express my apologies for our defeat in Mule. I'm ensuring our men are still in good condition and we have enough supplies to continue fighting General Luckymarine. So I must inform you that we are highly concerned by the advance of Luckymarine. Towards Richmond, my corps consisted of 6,200 trained soldiers, is heading to reinforce your army and will rendezvous with you shortly. So they've been supported by 6,200. Still, when we started this phase, they were up at 90 odd thousand. And in those 2 fights, we've got them down to between 71 and 76. Minus 5%. Minus 5%. This one was a draw instead of an outright win. However, I think taking that point would have cost us more men than the minus 5% it would have given us here. Probably. And we could probably do with getting something. They're not. Accept that. Yeah, politics, apply. We could probably do with getting something from here, even if it's just Spencer carbines or something. No, it's a major battle. We're going to miss out on 6 reputation points. One would assume, because we get 30 from winning Cold Harbour. So we go above 100 by just 6. I'm not too bothered about that. If there was something here for like 5 or 6 that made sense. We don't use these. We don't use these. Type pound power we kind of do, but we've not made an artillery regiment for a long time. And these are getting a little bit too expensive. I'd rather the morale boost from having reputation this time. We'll sell off what we don't need, what we don't use. Artillery, yep. Sell you, and now we'll keep them. Barracks. Alright, so there's no brigadier generals on here. Usually there's like 1 or 2, but no. Let's fill out these. Straight, who we're using as the battering ram in the last fight. Didn't really work because he'd lost all his condition by the time he got into position. Anyway, let's fill these guys out. I gave Loomis the better Springfields that we got access to at a cost of something like 80,000 odd. Slightly better fire rate, slightly better accuracy. Not by much, yeah. Oh, nope.
Sir, yes, sir!
Brewster. Enough to keep all 3 aspects of whatever you gained. All 3 pips. And then the rest made up of veterans. Same with the Iron Brigade.
Yes, sir.
There we go. You can definitely tell the ones that were up and at 'em, in and amongst it. We did have quite a few who just didn't get involved in a fight at all. The ones on well, from where we entered the battlefield, what would have been our far right flank. The stuff that was over here and looped around. They didn't really take any losses. They didn't really get involved. I didn't need to get them involved either. It had just been needless losses.
Sir, yes, sir!
Walton. Fill you up. Atkinson, you're going to need a dude. I think I know now. Let's get at least... Woods. Let's swap you out for a lieutenant, a lieutenant colonel, whichever you say. Whereverabouts in the world you are. Let's swap you out for Major General. Erasmus Keys. What a name. Erasmus. Was there a band called Erasmus? Or is a band? I don't know. Rings a bell. Again, we'll swap out scales for Lieutenant, Lieutenant Colonel. Now, putting a Brigadier General in charge. It changes the efficiency a little bit, but if I was to put this Lieutenant Colonel in charge of the Iron Brigade. Wait, what? Really? I'd expected their efficiency to drop a lot more than that. Yeah, officer rank is low for the size of the unit. So it's 77 now. Put you in charge. Jumps up to 95. Yeah. But sometimes you get this into the red, and it's not good. But with cannon units, you don't really need how much. Well, I'd rather have these guys at full efficiency than the cannons, because the cannons, even though they're really good at morale damage, they don't do much in terms of holding a line, in terms of outright causing losses to the enemy. That's where your line troops are. Well, that's where they earn their keep. Mr. Potato Man. We might have to hire a colonel. Yep. Actually, fits you. We'll swap you out for fits you. We'll put the colonel in charge here. And we'll get you. Oh. Not enough guns. Not enough rifles. Greg, we won't have enough rifles for you either. Again, we won't have enough for you or you. Just not enough rifles in the shop. What do we have in the shop? We could swap. $1861. That cost too much.
Yes, sir.
I can fill you out. Wood? Nope. Ashmore? Nope. Daniel. Let's swap you for a major.
Yes, sir.
You for a brigadier general. Plop a colonel in there, and that, I think, is going to be it. So we have a couple of people. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 3 major generals that are wounded. They'll slot straight into brigade command, and then a brigadier general. Yeah, our division command is already, they're already 3 stars, as is our corps command, yeah. So those 3, well, there again, those 3 major generals, we'll be able to slot them in there, and down here somewhere. Might even consolidate some of these 2 pippers out. And fill out first corps. We'll see. We'll see. What else can we be doing with our money? Supply wagon? We could be getting more people, but I don't think I'm going to. But that, ladies and gentlemen, will be it for... Ooh, indeed. What if we had a specialist skirmisher unit.
Sir, yes, sir!
With the Mega Uber repeating rifles. I mean, we'd have enough for 2. We won't have 2, we'd just have 1, I think. It'd be almost an anti-skirmisher brigade. Because they'd have the firepower to focus them down. And it'd only cost men because we already have the rifles in the bank. We'll see. We'll see. We might start 4th Division in the 2nd Corps. Chuck a skirmisher or 2 in there. Anyway, I've been Luckymarine. As always, you lot have been amazing. It's been an hour-long episode, but next up, Cold Harbour. I'll do a little bit of reading up on that before we start. Hopefully get a bit of a feel for what might happen. But yeah, until then, do take care.